そんな輝く時をいつも夢見てた
Hi guys, review number 2. We are basing this off a movie we both absolutely enjoy. It's Howl's Moving Castle.
It's a movie you can't beat. It's a Studio Ghibli. No matter if you want to start watching a Studio Ghibli, most people say, Spirited Away. No, go Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah, Spirited Away is good, but for a first, anime ever movie, this is just... Because this was my first anime movie. So I was like, oh my god. I loved it. I really did love it.
It is well worth watching. Family, friends, anyone basically you wanted to sit down with and watch. You can just sit down together.
Yeah, it's one of those few anime movies that you don't need to be an anime fan for. We are going to start with the characters as usual. This should not go as long as our previous, just because animes do have a bit more extensive reviews compared to movies. Just because anime is 26 episodes and a movie is an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of information omitted. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be known, and it's just at the moment this movie is just we're doing it based on the movie itself. We're not going to go into
too much
research.
Detail about it, otherwise we'll be here for ages telling you guys.
Yeah, because there's so much. Anyway, we're going to start with our main protagonist, Sophie Hatter. We do find that some of the names are typical of a child's movie where the names are just very
simple, you can easily pronounce.
Yeah, so Sophie Hatter is an ordinary girl. She doesn't think she's that pretty, and she works for a hat shop. She then gets rescued by Howl, by some not very nice guys, but then he immediately puts her in danger from some really moving, they're like oil bubbles.
Weird, basically. If you know anything about the Japanese spirits, they're pretty much like the ink ones that you'll see in everything.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what they are. And then Sophie takes her on, goes back home, thinks it's
everything's fine, but it's not.
No, she then comes across a witch who turns her into an old lady, which is pretty sad.
That's the point where the movie pretty much starts from that point, because she can't say anything about the witch that she's
the part of the curse is, yeah, she can't say. Part of the curse is that she can't say what has happened to her, because she is now 90 when she used to be 18 or something like that.
Pretty much, but you'll notice in the film at certain points in it, even though she's old, when Howl looks at her, she appears a younger self again.
Yeah, this is the curse again. Apparently, part of the curse is that when she falls asleep, she reverts to her original age. And then when she eventually falls in love with Howl, the overall concept of love breaks the curse. So a few times in this movie we see her suddenly turn young.
During the point where basically her heart would be, the easiest way to put it, a flutter?
I would say a flutter.
She appears young to you, although she still has, if you see at the beginning, she has brown hair.
Yeah.
During those periods, she still has her grey, white hair.
Yeah. And in the end, she ends up with quite bobby, silvery hair, which is actually quite gorgeous and quite useful on her.
She pulls it off pretty well. She makes it her own sort of style, instead of where you see most characters when they have silver hair. It's just same sort of style, spiky or plain straight down.
She's quite a natural looking girl, which is, in the era that it's based in, a lot of women are wearing a lot of makeup, lipstick, eyeshadow, foundation, blush.
They try to overdo it.
Yeah. Well, she's quite a natural beauty on her own.
She doesn't have to wear makeup.
Yeah. So her sister Letty, she's very well sought after because she does wear this makeup, but she can't.
not being rude, she does tart herself up in that the makeup wise.
You can see how strong the makeup is, and actually in the era it's based in,
It's
quite obviously a lot of makeup did look a lot stronger back then, because you don't have the sort of level we have now.
It's very vibrant.
Well, that's why Sophie is such a character that everyone relates to. We've all had those moments when we've gone, oh god, I look awful. Oh god, I'm so plain. Or I wish my nose was here. I wish my eyes were bigger. But actually, Sophie, she's naturally pretty. Just nobody's told her she is.
She doesn't see herself as a special person.
Yeah. So that's even when Howl had got her into trouble. She just said, Letty then says, he could have stolen your heart. She says, and she says to Letty, he only steals beautiful girls' hearts. So
she doesn't class herself in the area of what people see as beautiful.
Yeah, so now what she does is, during the movie, she works in the hat shop, then she has to run away to find Howl, because Howl, apparently a wizard, should be able to break the curse.
But
he doesn't.
He doesn't. Well, because the fact that she can't tell anyone about the curse. That's when the movie goes along the line.
Yeah, but the issue is, we have a special spirit, stone spirit, Calcifer. Calcifer.
The fire spirit. He moves Howl's castle, pretty much.
Yeah, he moves Howl's castle, and he immediately knows that she's under a curse.
Pretty much, Sophie goes into the wasteland, where Howl's castle is always moving. And during that process, she spots it, and tries to gets into the house and sits down in front of a nice roaring fire. What she thinks is a normal fire.
Then starts to talk.
Talks to her, and she doesn't freak out though.
No, because she's already just been cursed, so she just doesn't.
She doesn't think.
She's quite confident, and she's just like, really, you can try and scare me.
It's a talking fire. Hi.
Quite a modern woman, I have to say. So Howl eventually comes home to find her, and Howl's full name is Howl Jenkins Pendragon. That's because he goes by Howl Jenkins and Howl's Pendragon, because he's two wizards. He's two different wizards.
He's actually three wizards.
Yeah, technically
they do have three different wizards. In the show, you'll notice there's 4 doors. One, obviously, you'll notice Howl goes into a lot.
The black.
Which basically it's meant to be telling part of the future.
Well, what it is, it's either his future, the current present where he has to battle, or it's his past where Sophie eventually goes to tell him, come and find me, I will help you get better.
Well, when during that period when she goes to the past, you'll notice the fact that when she spots him, the Witch of the West, is it?
No, it's Witch of the Waste.
The Witch of the Waste goes on about Howl's heart. It should belong to her. She wants it. You don't realise until that point in the movie what she's on about and who the heart actually is.
Yeah, so of course, we won't do spoilers about that, but I would think that actually the Witch of the Waste, she changes quite dramatically.
Yes, when you see her to start with, she's all big up herself. And
larger. I'm a larger, and she's like. She's lumpy. It's like she's a spirit herself.
She's like a small spirit trapped in an oversized body.
Yeah.
That's had multiple spirits in it. That's made it bigger. She basically curses Sophie. That's the person who does it
because she thinks Sophie's going to take out her heart.
Just from the one me originally, it's just like why?
She's very jealous. But then later on in the movie, she says, "Oh, I can only cast spells, but I can't remove them," and that's on the way to the Pendragon Palace. Not the Pendragon Palace, the palace.
Pretty much the royal palace, where Arthur Pendragon has been summoned to appear in front of the.
Howl Pendragon.
No, it's Arthur Pendragon actually. Yes. I watched it today, so I've got a refresher.
I remember hold on.
Oh,
But anyway, when the Witch of the West gets there, she's stripped of her powers.
She's
Stripped of her powers.
Yeah, she stripped all of her powers. But you notice the difference between her where she's stripped of her powers and when she has her powers.
Yeah, well, that's obvious. Yeah, let's go into that. Is that she becomes quite old, frail, and quite sweet, actually.
She becomes like I'd say, what is it? Your nan, basically.
Yeah, and she's very wise.
That sweet old,
well, she knows
that
how
sweet
to,
old lady down the road.
Yeah, she becomes that, and it's quite nice. And you just feel sorry for her because all she wanted in the world was to be loved.
Mm.
And she's quite cheeky too.
She does have she
has a cheeky moment.
Yeah, she has got. You'll notice that in the film where she does have like a moment where it just goes really cheeky, but then back to normal straight away.
It's a bit strange, but it's quite lovable.
It makes sense when you actually see it put together, though.
Yeah.
Like her sides and the story behind it.
There is an interesting character, and I always get shocked by this. It starts off with Turnip Head. And if you think I mean strange people,
it's not. It's Sophie basically meets him in the waist, and his head is literally a turnip.
Yeah. And Sophie says she always hated turnips as a child, so she calls him Turnip Head.
Which is quite comical, to be honest.
Yeah, it's quite cute, and it's something a kid would make up. And it turns out Turnip Head is Prince Justin, the missing prince, who was the reason for the war.
Yeah, the war was to begin with. Well, how he disappears is quite. How he goes away is quite funny. It basically goes away on a pogo stick.
He does. I'm not joking. It's just boing, boing, boing. You just hold on to it and he bounces away, and it's just like, what the hell?
It's random.
It is very random. Okay, there's one character actually we don't know much about in the film, in the development of the film, but we do understand his feelings in the film. His name is Marky.
Yeah, he's
the little boy.
Yeah, he's meant to be Hal's apprentice.
Hal doesn't actually teach him anything.
No,
he's just equally as messy. He's just a child, really. I'm guessing he was an orphan.
He monitors like Hal's house.
But doesn't really do much.
No,
it's like asking your child to do the cleaning. So Maki, he starts off just being a kid that sorts out whatever Hal does and just looks after the place. It is just asking a kid to look after your house. It's funny,
when you see the house to start with, it's a mess.
Oh, and more than a mess, it's a complete start. It's literally, no offence to anyone out there, but it is like having men having control of the complete control of the house. And I know how messy you are, so don't give me that look.
Wait till you see my room.
And I bet you I've already seen this room, and it is such a mess. I tidied it. Oh yes, they tidy it up for visitors, but they weren't in this movie. They weren't expecting Sophie now, were they?
Okay, true. Basically, she ends up cleaning it for them though. But when they first eat, it's quite funny. Howl goes on about that Lucifer would not let anyone else use him as like a stove. That's it, Calcifer.
Lucifer is the fallen angel.
I don't know why I said that. Calcifer basically doesn't want anyone else using him as a stove, but Sophie makes a threat basically saying about their deal they make, and he just goes fine.
Yeah, we may all your
bacon burn, and it's just funny. It's just funny, but when Marco goes and gets the cutlery, it's 2 spoons and a fork, and that's all they've got. That's clean.
Yeah.
And it
doesn't look that clean anyway.
No.
When she cleans up the place, it looks really nice. And the continuous joke is she's the worst witch in the world. She's a cleaning witch. Which, considering for them, it is the worst witch of them all because Howl ends up being a gingerhead.
And that was funny. That moment when he runs out, he's just like, "What do you do?" He's a ginger.
He's a ginger.
Oh, wow.
It's nice. It was nice.
It was funny. And then obviously he gets really depressed, summons some weird spirits.
Yeah,
and
Howl is quite a narcissist,
his hair turns black.
which is quite
And she
cool.
makes a compliment about it. It's like, oh, you should see the shade of it now. It's nicer.
Yeah.
It's just like, pays him a compliment.
So she then has a little bit of an anger moment, like, you know.
Meltdown.
Yeah. Goes outside, has a bit of a fresher, like, you know, just freshens the face and just goes back in and goes, what the hell? Get him in the bath.
They sort him out basically, and he's happy again.
Yeah.
During the process of her cleaning, which is the funny bit, Margaret doesn't want her going in his room. He kind of like, every time she goes towards him or his room, he's like, save my room for last. It's like, what's he hiding in there, really?
Let's face it, kids do not hide things in their room. And yeah. So it's just like, you know, save my room first. I'll try and sort it out myself. I think a lot of parents could relate to that situation. So it's quite cute. Now the bad guy in the movie, which is quite interesting because originally we think it's the Witch of the Waste. It's not. She's not the bad guy. The bad guy, his name is Madame Sullivan.
Madame Sullivan. She's pretty much like the royal mage, I'd call it. The royal magician.
Yeah, she's like the royal magician, and so she controls all the magic. She is currently trapping the magicians to take their power away and make them become sort of monsters, so they can win the war.
Which, if you piece it together with we said earlier about how having to fight these weird things in one of the worlds, that's what it is. It's kind of like those monsters you see are.
Yeah, and they can never become human.
Yeah, they have to stay as that. They can't use their magic to change them back.
Yeah, so they've been restricted. So they're just these monsters, and I think in the end they do all actually be killed because it's just.
Poor buggers.
Yeah, it's just not fair. It's unfair for them because they probably have families and homes, and they've lost them forever as soon as they've turned into these monsters. But Keen, her royal dog.
Yeah, it's quite funny. He follows them round.
He follows them round, and he's very cute. But with this limited amount, there are other characters, but with these main characters that we've spoken of, they make quite the story.
They engross you into it quite well.
Yeah. With Studio Ghibli's amazing graphics, we can't.
It always gives you reason to watch it over and over.
Mm.
There's so many other films out there that you can watch afterwards or before if you haven't watched before.
Yeah.
It's just one that you can sit down, watch, enjoy with company.
Yeah.
No matter what, you love it. The story.
It's really sweet, and you just want to smile when you see it.
It does do well for what it is.
Because it's for guys, you still get your sort of action bombs and everything, but for girls, you get that sort of that slow romance, not like Cinderella, but more like I'd say a woman who makes her own way, but then finds love, and the man eventually falls in love with her. So it's more that way around.
If you've ever heard of a show called Clanad, it's just pretty much that.
Yeah.
That story there between Tomoyo and Nagisa, it's that in a movie form.
And it's very sweet, and in the end, Prince Justin is freed from his spell, and Calcifer is free. Howl is free.
They're all at the end, but the main ones that have all been trapped, they've all been set free, but. Obviously, the prince goes back off, but they all tend to group together. At one point of it, you'll notice where Howl changes one of the doorways. Instead of being a magic shop, he changes it to something totally different.
Yeah, and he also, the first time you notice he isn't in love with Sophie is when he takes over the Hatter shop. he transforms the room inside the castle into Sophie's old living quarters.
Which gives her somewhere to actually sleep. Where if you see in part of the film, she doesn't actually have anywhere to sleep, so she makes do with underneath the stairs.
Yeah. But it's so much more because actually it shows that Howl is not thinking of himself. He's not running away anymore. He's actually in the heart of the battle because he's easily found.
He's pretty much everywhere. They know what he actually looks like, but the fact that they never, as I say, Arthur Pendragon and then the other one, they've actually never seen him. Marco wears this cloak, basically, that makes him look like an old man.
Mm.
So he always answers the door in contexts for it. And if they need something, normally he'll give them what they need. That Howl's already pre-prepared.
Mm.
So no one actually sees what Arthur Pendragon and the other wizard actually look like, but they know of them.
Yeah. So but with the moving to Sophie's hometown, it was just then all hell just goes loose.
To the point where he takes over the hat shop for her again. That is literally the point where the story starts to climb up, and then you'll realise it starts to hit near the end. A real point. You'll find out a lot of detail about the actual. Well, a lot about how and.
Yeah. Well, I was say we'll get onto the ratings now.
Character-wise, I would probably give it a 5 out of 5 of characters because they're all
well-defined characters, and you can't imagine the movie without any of them. So yes, I would agree. So 5 out of 5 from me. And let's see, plot. I know it's a bit harsh, but I would put 4.5.
I kind of did the same. Though they did rush the ending quite a bit.
Yeah, I think the ending was a bit like like it didn't quite make sense, but it was still a very good ending.
You understood it, but it
could have been better.
There was a lot they could have worked on, tweaked with it, but it is a movie to just sit and watch, no matter what. It's a movie to get
graphics. We've already said. I say
Studio Ghibli's always top-notch graphics. They work on it so well. Praise Studio Ghibli for their amazing work because they don't rush and do everything. They actually work little by little and bring it out.
Yeah, honestly, if you ever get to see one, just see it. You can see the difference it is compared to other movies. It's just completely amazing. So 5 from both of us, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Okay, music-wise, I would say there wasn't that much music, but
they didn't really use a lot because they didn't actually need to. Most of the story was told via little bits instead of where they used the music to show the scene. They used little bits through it to actually tell it. The only time you really got music was during the points where they were actually being romantic together, where Howl started to fall in love.
Yeah, so I'm guessing I think that's all you could say about the music. So maybe we'll put 3 for that, just because there is not really much music, but it's not really needed. Overall enjoyment has to be 5-star for me. I'm
just going to top it. Doesn't go up to 6, but it does just for me because the fact it is that good.
Yeah, I would agree, guys. It is that good, and I would recommend it to any of you. And I would probably easily watch it over and over again.
I would happily watch it again. Well, I did while at work. So
yeah,
and then
you just can't get bored of it because whenever you watch it, there's something new you haven't seen or something new that you can put into a different context. It's not just a plain one-dimensional movie.
Yeah. It's
It's a very 3D.
You see every experience that they're having. Each character is having a different experience. They're not all living one. They're literally all of them are living their own separate bits.
And then they come together in a whole, and it's just It's really nice, and you can't just say more than that because it's just that good a movie. When you can't express how good a movie is in words, it is either really good or really bad.
Yeah, it is quite like that.
And in this case, it's just that good.
It's that good. Would there be any other Studio Ghibli films you would recommend to anyone?
I will say Spirited Away, because even though I know you say it's not as good as Howl's,
Yeah.
I think it still has a place in those top.
It is one of their top ones. It's what they were made for. It's why so many people do know of it because of that one film. I would have to say a film called Wind Rises, one of their newer ones. It is really good. I've got a DVD. I've watched it countless times.
So I think those are the ones we would recommend, and we will see you next time.
See you
I'm
next
Rosie.
time, guys. I'm Tom.